Welcome back to the channel, lads and ladies, and welcome to MetaDave. Question: how do you measure the power of a Crusader? Dave's voltage, of course. So welcome back to the channel, lads and ladies. I have the suspicion that MetaDave is an Italiano fan, judging from the flag that I've seen on this tank twice now. There is another replay that MetaDave sent me featuring this is the Centurion, right? No, this is the Crusader, right? Is this one of those Vickers Mark 12s the kids are all wearing these days? Anyway, I need a boomer to inform me properly about tanks. But where was I going with all of this? MetaDave is going to have a fantastic match in this tank. MetaDave, you cheeky bugger. What are you doing? Taking a light tank into the ruins of Berlin? We are shortly going to find out. I have the volume cranked. I have the UI turned off, and I'm recording all this for you to enjoy here at home with OBS today, just to make my life a little bit easier in terms of editing. We'll see what that means for video quality. The nice thing is I've sort of curated all of you to expect garbage video quality from me. So hopefully you won't be disappointed. Our first target, a Wish.com M2A4, and the Chinese light tank taking a heavy beating and yet still mobile after a couple of rounds of 45 into the fighting compartment, but the British rapid firing cannon taking him down with a third shot in a short amount of time, showing off what the Crusader is capable of in capable hands so early in the match. Mark that down. That's kill number 1. And I hope, since I've turned off the UI, you all are keeping score back at home as our caped Crusader, MetaDave, in the aforementioned light tank, takes on. Now, is that a Chinese M24? A Japanese M24? Odds are it's not an American M24. I think that was a Chinese. American light tank, if you will. Another M24, this time getting a hit, but with its powerful 75mm gun failing to deal significant damage twice to this Brit boy tank, not even setting a fire. If you're that M24 driver, you've got to be disappointed at that performance. Middling, piddling in an otherwise fantastic gun. Sometimes you just can't win. Chinese M24 trying to look small, moving so incredibly slowly that you don't even know he's there. Except MetaDave is happy to pinpoint his location with relatively high velocity, ordinary armor-piercing rounds, as you do. The British knew a good thing when they saw it, and they loved this low boy tank in the deserts of Africa. And today, it gets to answer the question, what if Winston Churchill said nothing but Crusaders? And with 1, 2, 3, possibly 4 kills now. Let's turn on the UI for a brief moment. That's right, I've been counting properly as well, but I'm running out of fingers. Don't ask what my other hand is doing. Holding down the table, I tell you. But in my world right now, it's quiet time in my house, which means that it would be nap time, except my toddler is very much against the idea of naps right now, so she goes in the crib and we all just pretend that she's sleeping, and I'll put her diaper back on her when the time is done. But I'm trying to reintroduce nap time to my toddler. She's 2.5 plus, and she was just not eating very much at all. She had no appetite She was down to 3rd percentile BMI, which is nigh unto starvation for an American. That means that she is lighter weight for her height than 97% of Americans her age. So she was a tiny tot, and I wanted her to grow so much. Well, good news, her appetite has returned. She just didn't feel like growing for a while, and she was so busy doing all the things. And now that she's eating more, I know she's going to be putting on weight. I've already seen her put on a little teeny bit of weight, and now I'd like to encourage her to take some naps to help her grow as well. But we'll see what we can do. Tank Toddler, she only does what she decides to do. So I have to be an understanding daddy and build a world around her that is more suitable to the things that she thinks are right. Anyway, all that is to say, she decided that story time comes before bedtime, even if it's only a nap. So there's more story times worked into my regular day, which, you know what, I kind of love story time. So I also have to decide that I'm not in a hurry. So MetaDave rapidly wiping out the enemy team here, but at a gentleman's pace, even though the Crusader is nimble, even in terms of being a light tank. It always seems like he's in just the right place at just the right time. Neither early nor late, but he arrives along with his armor-piercing rounds into the sides of enemy vehicles. Beautiful ammo rack there, precisely when he means to. This is without a doubt the ultimate gentleman's guide to tank warfare. Colonize those enemies, whatever stripes they wear, with beautiful British armor-piercing rounds. Getting a surprising number of one-shot kills thanks to the decent spalling effect of the Crusader's armor-piercing rounds, even though you don't have a high explosive filler for the majority of British projectiles. That is no problem for MetaDave as he goes yandere mode, just going psycho on all of these enemy tanks that he encounters. A mix of calm and fury, stalking his prey and then taking them down with terrifying speed, swiftness, and deadly intent. A shot into the turret of that early model T-34, punching through the armor neatly as you do, and a second as soon as reloaded, going directly into the crew compartment for the kill. Have you been keeping track? Have you been counting? MetaDave building up a huge score of kills as we cinematically look up along with Dave, hearing the whistling of a bomb, a sound long lost to War Thunder, now returned after tweaks to the way that sounds are rendered in the game. It is nice to see such tactically important sounds being highlighted the way they need to be, as we see more and more and more scores and scores of Crusaders just absolutely dominating this battle rating. This is, I believe, a 2.3 match, although we did see the, what is that, 3.3 M24 a few times, so this would be MetaDave in a maximum up tier and doing quite well. He's going to get more than a dozen kills in this match, as well as what appears to be a decisive cap on a capture zone. And just watching War Thunder without the UI has reminded me what a gorgeous game this is. Another reminder, low tier is fun tier. I know we all get the saliva going in our mouths and the heat building in various parts of our bodies when we hear about high tier and top tier vehicles, naval craft of massive size, helicopters, jets, and MBTs, oh my, and all the complex and sophisticated weapon systems and game mechanics coming in the future. And yet time and time again, I am more a fan of Polish ground forces. No, that's not Polish. They probably won't come to the game, and sad to say, it does take Polish quite a while to come to War Thunder. But the lower ranks, especially in tanks, in my humble opinion, is one of the most fun, engaging, and still reasonably, again not well, but reasonably balanced parts of the game. And even though you might have to face a Buschpanzer every now and then, sometimes that just doesn't matter, because the Brits built such a meta light tank for the game of War Thunder when they put together the Crusader that we just have to remove our hats, hold our hands over our chests, and say, "Jolly good, well done, old Rabin." I'm a dorky man. Good to see you guys are still around, and this time an American M24 backing up our hero, an American M something A something. They all look the same to me. I think that's an M1 light tank with its radial aircraft engine in the back, providing oodles of horsepower to excited American youth of all ages. Stand on a number and say you're over 16. And just like lying to get into World War II or lying to play the game of War Thunder, this is not really a channel that's meant for kids, Copa. There's a joke that will not age well, and yet the Crusader, a concept that hasn't aged well, but a vehicle that remains meta in War Thunder from the day that it arrived even to now. If you haven't played any of the British low-rank light tanks, they're all delightful, either weird and wonderful or deadly and weird and wonderful. With a very meta mechanic in the game to how they function, and some funky looks to how they roll, the British light tank tree and British tanks in general at low tier are absolutely delightful, and I recommend you give them a try. Definitely worth your time. And again, low tier, fun tier, easy to get into, relatively uncomplicated to do well, and MetaDave, now with 13 kills, can attest that if you do your best, they can be an absolute barrel of riveted fun. That's gonna just about do it for this episode of Toshio Thunder Replays, and I'm glad you all joined me. Definitely feel free to follow the link to the Discord in the description below, and to send in your own replays. I love showing what you all are doing. I also look forward to doing more things like my own gameplay when I get the chance to actually play instead of making videos, which is my passion, and interviews, reviews, all kinds of fun stuff coming in the future of the channel. Catch you guys in the next one, and special thanks to MetaDave for this video. Bye-bye.